Well, there we are. Well, welcome. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for another edition of the Creators Checkup. My name is Alan C. Paul. I'm your host and the founder of God and Gigs. This is where we help you to solve one individual issue, problem, strategy, situation that you are dealing with in your creative life by applying timeless spiritual principles to temporary creative problems. We go live every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We also have a podcast that comes out on Mondays, a newsletter that comes out on Wednesdays, and we're always sharing in our creator community, which is called 360. So, all of that to say, welcome. If you are a member and been with us for a while, I'm so glad you're hanging out with us. If you're new, thank you for giving us a chance to bless your creator lifestyle. Well, okay, so as I get ready right off the bat, there's always a couple of things, those of us who join us every week, you know there's some things that always throw me off. One is these glasses. For some reason, every time I start, my glasses are like the dirtiest glasses in the world. I can barely see myself. And so you're going to see me look blind for a second as I try to clean them off. Second thing is for hearing you. Of course, I cannot hear you, but I can see your comments. And if you would like to share during this conversation so that it's not just a monologue, by the way, those people who are hanging out with us on TikTok, I got my phone over here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I also would love to pull up your comments, but I can't. So you got to join us over here on YouTube. Okay. And that's by the profile. You can see the link to YouTube. But if you are joining us and you're commenting, I can pull up your comments right there where you see welcome to today's session. And I'll do a quick comment myself so you guys can see that it actually works. And so I'll do that. And that way I can pull that up. You see, that's what happens right there. Okay. And number two, if you look to your left, I think, your left, my right, or my left, something like that, over here, I should say, there is a UR, what do you call those? Not UR, a QR code. I get so confused. I apologize. A QR code where you can donate to God and Gigs and help us out. It goes to a website, godandgigs.com/give. And of course, if you're not going to hang out and buy anything or join a membership, you might just say, hey, I just want to bless you guys, help you along the way as you help other Christian creators. And that would be highly appreciated. So you can always scan that with whatever device you have. And if we have some people already hanging out, like I said, feel free to jump in the comments. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. Got to click around a little bit and get around some of these things. There we go. So today, what we're starting with, we're going to do a quick September recap. That's our news and notes. We always start with that. A winner circle. I want to show you some amazing things that our creators are doing inside of our membership 360. I just want to celebrate them for a little bit, tell you, hey, sometimes they don't celebrate themselves. And I keep telling them it's okay to celebrate yourself. And please tell us what you're doing. But sometimes I just got to pull them out and just tell them what, tell everybody else, hey, what you're doing is amazing. We need to know about it. We're also going to give you some new YouVersion. I cannot talk today. YouVersion reading plan updates. Maybe if I slow down. YouVersion reading plan updates. There are some amazing things that are happening in our YouVersion devotional series, which we just released a couple of new ones. I want to tell you all about that. And this was a late edition. We have one more chance if you are watching on Friday. So replay viewers, this may already be gone. But I said, well, those of you who are watching right off the bat, maybe you want your final chance to join the Fall Accelerator, which technically is closed and already started. But I gave a little hint to just those members who wanted to have a last chance to join. I did open that back up. I will have to kind of be very careful about how I share that link because it technically is not supposed to be public. But I just want to let you know it existed. And those of you in the membership, I do think I shared a link with you if you would like to join late and you get a really streamlined version of the accelerator, because I didn't want to throw in the bells and whistles that would not allow you to get started right away. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. Also, we will be then going into our vital signs, facing the fear of failure as a Christian creator. This is spooky season for some people, Halloween, whatever you want to call it. Some people don't want to talk about Halloween. I just want to talk about fear because fear is something that affects all of us as Christian creators. So we're going to talk about that. Then our lab work, as you can see, this kind of goes through our creator checkup, just like a doctor would do a checkup. We do your vital signs, and now we're going to do your lab work. And our lab work is something that's happening right now in YouTube, a new feature which we have tried out right away. And I want to tell you kind of like what the results have been. So you get to see the results of our creator journey, just like you are doing your things and trying things out. So are we. So I want you to see how that's working for us in terms of this new feature, and maybe give you a little bit of background in terms of how you can use it if you are using YouTube or any other kind of collaborative space. It's really about collaborations in general. Then we'll go into our consult, what to do when you're struggling to create consistently. This is a problem so many people have when it comes to your time management, trying to keep everything going, all the balls juggling. So we'll talk about that in our consult. And finally, we'll finish up with prescriptions and special offer for just you guys who are watching, a 30-day pass to our Creator Resource Center, where we keep all of our materials and workshops and things like that were created. Speaking of which, I want to remind you that all of the things that we share, all the resources, are housed and kept, and our community meets inside our home for faith-focused creators, God and Gigs 360 Creator Community. It's where we keep everything going, is where our community meets, is where all of these winners and creators are sharing their wins. It's algorithm-free, discipline-specific discussions. Whether you're an author, musician, visual artist, whatever you're doing, there is a place for you there where people can discuss what you do, as well as a creator community where everybody gathers. We have all of our creator workshops and trainings available there, prayer and spiritual encouragement, and we do live coaching and connection there as well. So if you want to check that out, all you got to do is go to godandgigs.com/membership to see your options, and where you can get stuff like this all the time, 24/7, with creators who know what you want to know and want to grow the way that you want to grow. So, before we go there, I wanted to speak of some of those winners. And so to do this, I'm going to have to share screen. Let's see, and make sure I can do this, present and share screen. I want to show you, and in order to show you some of the winners, I got to let you inside. By the way, those of you who are joining us on TikTok, number one, hope you can hear me okay. My phone is literally sitting on the desk, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. And also, I want you to see what I'm sharing. So you can't see it, you'll have to join us over here on YouTube. So let's go over here. I think you can see this now. Awesome. All right, now we're inside the membership, and I wanted to get to some of the wins, and I think that would be over here. Yes, this was one of the wins I wanted to share. Pamela, in our God and Gigs 360 community and also a gold member, has just released her new ebook, Business Basics for Faith-Based Entrepreneurs. Man, I am so proud of Pamela. She has been a member for a while. She has been a long time supporter and member of our creator community. And now she has put out this book. Really, she just kind of put her head down and said she was going to do it, and she finished it. And honestly, I can't see any of our creator community not wanting to get their business basics for faith-based entrepreneurs, all of their basics down. So this is a huge thing. She built it on Kit, which we've also recommended. So I'm going to make sure, matter of fact, is there a hashtag for wins? I'm going to make sure to put hashtag wins here. I don't know if you guys knew I was going to be doing all this. Or winner circle. All right, because I want to make sure everybody knows that we've got some winners in God and Gigs 360. Also, I want to go right down here because there was another author right here that we can celebrate. Dre Marshall, who's also one of our members and a creator expert as well, just released his book, The Creative's Guide to Getting Started. And man, when I tell you, now wait, hold up. Now I got to go back on camera. I just realized I don't need to just show you guys this on the screen. I can show you this live because I have a copy of it right here. I know it's backwards. Oh, let's see. That's strange. I thought my camera was already mirrored. Give me a second, you guys. I don't want you to see this backwards. Let's see what we're doing here with the camera. I apologize for doing this here, but it should already be done. Let's see, get ready. 1, 2, 3. All right, did y'all see that? Hopefully that didn't throw you off too much. All right, so now I can show you the actual picture of the book in the right way and not backwards. This is, and same thing over here on YouTube, on TikTok. I apologize, you guys. So the Creator's Guide to Getting Started. This book is, I'm telling you, absolutely going to be kind of like your starter kit to creator work. Your starter kit to creator work. It's by Dre Marshall, you guys over here on TikTok. Dre Marshall. And I was so privileged to write the foreword for this book. So this is one of our 360 members, you guys. This is the kind of accomplishment I can say we are helping and supporting inside our membership. People who are literally writing. Now, all the books you see behind me, those are mine, right? But I'm not the only author inside the membership. That's how I know that we are accomplishing some things because, again, he was so blessed. I'm so honored to have him have me write the foreword for this book. So, big wins happening in our membership, God and Gigs 360. Congratulations, Dre. We want to get this. I think it was already on the top of the Amazon for, I want to say, creator business books or entrepreneur books or something like that. So big shout out to Dre. Big wins in the winner's circle in God and Gigs 360. All right, let's get back into what we want to make sure we cover. Now, the Creator's Battle is our newest YouVersion devotional reading plan. It has also been blessing people. And I cannot tell you how many people have come to me recently, and this is not a humble brag. It kind of shocked me, to be honest with you, because I was not expecting certain lessons to be the ones that got so many people aware of the battle that they were facing as creators. But the one that people have been really paying attention to, apparently has really hit a lot of people, is, I think it's day 2, the spirit of delay, procrastination. And I think the reason why that one is hitting so many of us so hard is because we realize what is being stolen from us when we are delaying what God has put inside us. Now, again, this is not one of those kind of backdoor, oh, it's okay to, it's okay to consider your next step. It's okay to, I'm trying not to go to either extreme. This is not the just rush forward and do everything without thinking about it, but it's also to be aware of what the enemy would love for you to do. And he would love for you to be inactive. The enemy would love for you to not make a decision, which is a decision. And so the Creator's Battle, all 5 days, is talking about the battle that you are facing as a creator here in your mind and in your heart, not the battle you have to face with people who are fighting you outside in terms of your beliefs. That's not what this is about. So it's been blessing people. If you want to check that out, all you got to do is go to godandgigs.com/YouVersion. All of our devotionals are there, godandgigs.com/YouVersion. The Creator's Battle is the most recent one, but we also have the Creator's Authority, the Creator's Timing, the Creator's Craft, and the Creator's Purpose. Okay, five plans now out. That's kind of crazy. And we have just submitted for the next one because I wanted to do 2 a month, but right now it looks like we're only doing 1 a month, which again, as long as it's being effective, I'm praying that it's absolutely blessing you guys. So the Creator's Battle has been out again for about 2 weeks. All of the other ones are also available at godandgigs.com/YouVersion. Once again, friends who are joining us on TikTok, hope you can hear me okay. I know the mic is not even connected right now. And you can just join us over here on YouTube if you want to see the screen. All right, let's get ahead. I think that was the last of our news and notes. Let me take a quick look and see if we got anything else. Oh, yes, let's do our quick announcement. Last announcement, I promise, okay? Because this is the last day for this and I will not talk about it anymore. But I did get some comments from people who said, oh my gosh, I wanted to join the Fall Accelerator. And so we have already started the Fall Accelerator. It's honestly, it already closed. But I said, for those who just missed it and you really were ready to do this and you wanted 60 days of dedicated group coaching and guidance to achieve your 2025 goals before the year runs out. Because if you think about it, once you hit Thanksgiving, time's basically up on the year, right? Like everybody's looking forward to 2026. Yes, we're already less than 90 days to the end of the year. Like, who knew that was even coming? That's crazy. So, this is my final offer to those of you who want to be a part of the Fall Creator Accelerator. Now, I don't have a link for this, and it closes today because literally you've already missed a class. And so I streamlined it and made it just for those who are joining at the last minute. And so this way you can jump in and you don't have to worry about bonuses or any of the other materials that you probably don't have time to jump into. This is just for those who want to jump in right away. And again, I did not make a link. So what I'll need for you to do is to put accelerator in the comments. If you put accelerator in the comments, or you can email me at alan@godandgigs.com and just say that you are interested, okay? Because like I said, the actual plan, even as I look here, I believe the plan has already been taken off of all of my websites. So if you are interested in this, I need this before midnight. There's no way you can join this later than today because the plan has already started. The classes have already started. This is for the people that want to sneak in the back door and still get in, okay? So simply put accelerator in the comments. I will be checking all day for those who are watching on replay. But after Friday, if you're watching this after Friday midnight Eastern, the class is finally closed for good this time. Okay, I just opened it up because I saw some people who were interested. I know some people, let's be straight up, get paid on Friday. Maybe this is better for you. And we lowered the cost. We prorated it and took out all the extras so that all you would have to do is invest into the accelerator. And again, to be honest with you, I've been told by many that I priced it way too low and I'm giving it away. And this will be the last time I can do that because I need to be aware that things are more valuable than I am selling them for. And I don't want to do that to you or to anybody else who thinks that this kind of material should be worth a certain amount. I don't ever want to lowball this for any other creators who are putting out accelerator programs. I don't ever want them to say, oh my gosh, look, but his was so cheap. Why is yours so expensive? I never want to do that to any of my fellow creators. So I need to raise my prices just so I don't make them look bad and make it look like they're charging a lot when honestly I'm the one who is lowering it to nothing because I wanted to see what would happen if I offered a 4-star accelerated program for a 2-star price. I wanted to see what would happen. And so we're finding out. But the other problem with that is if people don't join, they miss out, and it was their last chance to join at that level. So I really don't want you to miss this. So again, last chance. Those are the people. Again, I didn't want to announce it, but I did just because I just wanted to see if you guys were interested. All right. So type accelerator in the comments if you are interested in the accelerator. The last chance to join it. All right. So let's go ahead and get ready for our first segment, which is our vital signs. Those who are watching on TikTok, once again, feel free to join us over here on YouTube. All right, here we go. Let's see. Yes. All right. Fear is real. Let's just all agree on that, right? Can we all agree that fear is real? I know that people talk about fear in terms of whether it's Halloween and ghosts and goblins and all the other silly stuff that I know some people enjoy talking about. And then some of us, especially in the Christian world, are like, we don't deal with that, all that stuff of Halloween. But pretty much all the way through October, people talk about fear and, horror and all these other things because it just becomes the topic of the day. But creators, we deal with fear 24/7, 365. And here's what I mean by that. I already can hear you quoting the verse, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And I'm going to make reference to that. But God has not given us a spirit of fear. That's not the issue. We're not saying whether God has given us the spirit of fear, because he hasn't. The question is the spirit of fear real in Christian creators' lives? And the answer has to be yes, because otherwise, why do we have to deal with so many struggles when it comes to overcoming our fears of failure, our fears of rejection, our fears of worrying about what people will think of us, whether we will be criticized, whether we'll make our goals, or even the fear of success when we reach our goals and we realize we've got to level up and we're not ready for a certain task. So all of this is kind of like the overarching kind of viewpoint that I would love to approach this from. And here's my question for you, even those of you who are watching live or watching on replay or listening later. What are you really afraid of? What are you really afraid of? Because here's what I think is really happening for many of us when we talk about facing the fear of failure as Christian creators. It's very easy simply to say, I'm afraid of failing. But I went and did a quick search on the fear of failure on all of these other platforms and different psychologists and every life coach you want to find, right? And I didn't want to sound like them. But the truth is, many of them have nailed the one issue, which is fear of failure is not really fear of failure. There are underlying fears that are the ones that are actually fueling the fear of failure. Because when you are afraid of failing, you're really, if you think about it, afraid of what comes with the failure. The failure itself of the actual goal only has certain consequences. But the things attached to the failure of whatever it is you are afraid to approach, to try, to set a goal for, the things attached to that failure is kind of like, you imagine, like if you're dragging something and then, as you're dragging it, you actually got the strings there, but the things that actually attached to the strings, you're just holding on to the strings. But the reason why the weight is heavy is not because of the string or the chain. It's the things that are being dragged. So the fear of failure is kind of like what attaches to all of the other fears that you're dragging along. And it's why you're scared to move forward, because all of that weight is actually connected to these other things that you are afraid of. So let's talk about what you're actually afraid of as a Christian creator. Or let's be honest, since I don't know what you're afraid of, what I might be afraid of. I'll put myself on a chopping block. So one of the things I've always have been afraid of has been the fear of being seen or being perceived as not capable, being perceived as not good enough, being perceived as he's the problem. That has been a big issue my entire life. And I didn't mean to put myself on a therapy couch, but I'll just tell you a quick story of one of those days that I was crushed because of being rejected or being seen as not capable. And it was high school, of course, because high school seems to be all the stories of being rejected and being seen as less than and dealing with your own self-esteem issues. And it was a day where I was tasked with being in charge of a homecoming parade or homecoming something organizing around homecoming. And I think I was either freshman class president or something. I mean, basically the lowest of the low, but the highest of the lowest, I guess, right? I was the king of the pawns. Well, let's just say it went as badly as it could possibly go. If you know me, you already know I am not an organizer. I love to support others, but I am not the best leader when it comes to organizing pieces of a project. That's why I'm so glad I have an assistant who helps me keep all this stuff together. And my wife is in a managerial mode all the time. I'm not the manager, and I was asked to be the manager. And yes, everything fell apart. And I still remember the feeling when basically I was dismissed. Like people just said, leave. You're messing this up. Please go home. And the feeling of rejection and the feeling of failure and the feeling of being basically labeled as you're not good enough, you are the problem, is a fear that I have had to overcome for years. And yes, even in my 50s, after so many years, why am I able to pull up that memory? It's because it actually connected with something that was deeply fearful of. I was deeply fearful of, and it happened. And so now I have to come to grips with the fact that, okay, if my fear of failure is connected to my fear of being seen as less than, the fear I need to overcome is not necessarily the fear of failure. I need to overcome the fear of people seeing me as less than and not capable. Is this making sense? Because as a Christian creator, you have to reach out. You have to push forward. You have to do things that will put you in a position where you may be judged or seen as not quite capable. So before you worry about your fear of failure, let's consider your real fear, which again, I'm raising my hand. This might be your fear too. The fear of being seen as less than. The fear of rejection in terms of your ability or your real, your innermost feeling of worthiness. Okay? So here's what I would love for us to do, even in the comments if you're watching this on replay. Let's be honest and share. Don't worry, no one's going to judge you. Let's talk about the individual fear that you have that is underlying your fear of being a Christian creator who failed at something. A great story I've been telling for the last couple of weeks has been from our students, one of our students who was in our accelerator, and she shared one of her goals. But then we found out that that goal she set was really not the goal she wanted to achieve. She was afraid to mention the goal because, once again, there was a fear of failure in that goal. So she didn't even mention the goal. But the true goal, or the true fear, I should say, was the fear of not knowing what to do next, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of what if I get into this and I have no idea what to do and how to do it, and I'm just going to feel like a failure. So the feeling like a failure came from a lack of skills or a lack of knowledge that she felt, and felt like this was going to mask or unmask her inability to achieve this goal at all. This is where, once again, a chain of fear of failure was connected to another chain, which was a fear of uncertainty or feeling like you were incapable of a task. This is where, once again, I hope you are thinking now, let's overcome that fear. Let's overcome the fears that keep you thinking like failure is going to be the final destination. If you can get over that fear, if you can pray and actually look at what God has put on the inside of you and say, okay, God didn't put the spirit of fear of uncertainty. God didn't put the spirit of fear of worthiness. God didn't put the spirit of fear of rejection. All of these specific fears and the spirit of each one of these fears was not from God, is not from God, and each one of them has a replacement. So when he says not of fear, but of love, you are loved. We talk about that in the Creator's Battle, how love is actually the thing that conquers all. Love is what makes you more than an overcomer. Love is what makes you able to overcome the enemy by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. The blood of the Lamb is Jesus's love, is his love for you that allows you to overcome your fears. Not only that, sound mind. So if your fear is of, I don't know what to do next, I'll be confused, I'll be frustrated, I'll be out on my own. Well, maybe it's time for you to acknowledge that your fear of not having the skills is overcome by God giving you a sound mind. You can learn, you can get the tools, you can join a community like God in Gigs 360, and you can become the creator that God created you to be with the tools and the skills that he will allow you to learn. So as you can see, each one of these fears that's underlying your fear of failure has an antidote. And why not we go to the last one of love, power, and a sound mind? I said sound mind, so power. So let's address that one. What does power overcome? Well, the power, I believe, is the power of the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is a comforter. So maybe your fear is of being alone, but the power of the Holy Spirit accompanies you in everything you do and every situation you step into. So maybe your fear is of being rejected, of not knowing anyone, of feeling you're alone, that no one's going to come to your rescue. And that fear can be overcome by you saying, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And the Holy Spirit is always with you. So the power of that particular thought can overcome the fear. I hope this is making sense. I hope that whether it's October that you're hearing this or whatever season, that you are realizing that each fear that you are facing as a Christian creator can be overcome with a specific thought, with a specific action, and most importantly, with a specific mindset where your prayer and your art and your lifestyle all come together into a confident whole that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and you will not be afraid of anything that would stop your progress. So, my friend, I hope that blessed you. I was honestly encouraged just by sharing that. Even in my own life, I've been dealing with certain fears and certain places where I feel inadequate. I don't have enough skill. I will look foolish. And all of these fears are connected to the fear of failure. But the failure, honestly, is not the biggest issue. I could fail to make whatever the money goal is. I could fail to achieve a certain desired result in my music or in my podcasting. But all of those things are just like the actual action that would create a failure. The feeling of failure is much deeper than that. And that is what I believe God has given us an antidote for. So that if you don't achieve the goal, you're actually better off either way. Like, you can't lose. You either win or you learn, but you can't lose. So I hope that blessed you today. I loved it. And I will pray for you consistently, my friend, that you will overcome fear with faith. All right. I could stay on that all day, but we got to keep moving. So let's go ahead to what's next, guys? Oh yeah. Let's go ahead to our lab work. All right, I am excited about this. I may do some screen shares here, which was not my plan, but even as I'm starting to talk about this, I'm realizing that this might be one of the things that I kind of want to show you just what's going on, and not, simply talk about it, but actually show you the back end of my YouTube channel and how we are using this new feature. So if you are not on a YouTube channel, you're not creating content on YouTube, you might say, okay, why is this important? Well, let's first say that collaborations is not YouTube's idea, right? YouTube did not come up with collaborations. The person that came up with collaborations, honestly, was God. And it was in the way that we interact with each other and help each other that actually makes collaboration such a powerful tool, no matter where you use it. Collaborating, obviously, is not just for social media. It's anytime that you are working with another individual, another creator, and you create a win-win situation where you are helping each other and giving each other the feedback, the encouragement, the content, whatever that is, that each other can help each other grow. So collaboration is honestly the lifeblood of God and Gigs and every other creator community that you can imagine. So the way that YouTube is using this, though, and let me go ahead and get this ready. Let me jump over here and see if I can find our YouTube channel. The way YouTube is doing this, though, YouTube has now instituted collaborations where you can share your videos. Oh, goodness. Okay, let me turn it off. I'm sorry. I get so annoyed when you get text in the middle of your live streams, especially from spam text. All right, sorry. Got totally distracted. So let's look at my actual back end of my YouTube. Here, we're just going to jump in, remove other media streams from the stage. Let's remove that. And now let's do this. There we go. So let's go ahead and look down a little bit. And I'm going to show you where this new thing is available. So even now, this is the channel content. And let's go all the way over here to collaborations. So this tab is now, oh, by the way, if anybody's watching on TikTok, you got to join us over here on YouTube to see this. So as you can see here, this is where now I have accepted these collaborations from other channels. Now, what's cool about this is that each one of these collaborations, I'm one of the featured guests. I'm a guest on God Arts here, where she has requested me to do a collaboration. I accepted. This one's here from the Family Business, where me and Stephanie Muina, we're talking about the Metro Live Worship and how we share our duties and how we do things from a Sunday to Sunday basis. So you can see here, these are different videos, but each one of these is now shared between both of our channels. So when they send this collaboration, now both of our names pop up. Let's go ahead and pop up this one because this is actually an old video. You can see I'm actually the host of this video, and this was actually released under my name as well, but we did it inside of the God and Gig Show and the Family Business. Well, now you can see that because we've collaborated, both of our names are here available on the same website or same YouTube video. Not only that, there is a subscribe button where someone taps this. If they're not already subscribed, they could subscribe to either one of these channels, either one that they're not subscribed to. So it doubles the amount of people who can see it because it will be now shared with both of our audiences, and they're able to subscribe to either one. So it's a super cool, almost like you almost feel like they should have done this a long time ago. I don't know if you saw sorry guys, let me switch. I know I just finished saying all that, and I did not even show you the actual video because I forgot to change the tab. So this is what I was talking about. So here's the tab. Here's the Family Business with the Alessis and God and Gigs. I forgot I have to share the entire window. My bad. And then here's what happens when you tap on subscribe. As you can see, you can subscribe to either one. Obviously, I'm already my own channel, but I can subscribe if I want to the channel that collaborated with me. And so let me show you quickly, again, not to get all into the weeds, but let me show you how you can actually help out someone and request a collaboration, or they can request a collaboration from you. So let's go to a video we have not collaborated yet. And let's say over here, I don't believe she has a channel yet, but we could let's do this one because Addie is here, and I believe Addie has a channel. So we're going to go ahead to details, and let's get rid of this. Hopefully I'm sharing the right one. Yes. And now we're going to go down. You can see it would seem like there's nothing else to share, but it keeps going, right? You don't see it yet. And some of this you might have to, right there, you might have to say show more. If you don't see this yet, see where it says paid promotion, collaboration. So you might have to hit show more so you can see all the rest of this stuff. But there it is, collaboration new. Now, if I want to then ask someone to collaborate with me, first I got to search for their channel. So let's do this. Let's go to, I believe her channel is... It's going to be Lowly, I believe. Lowly. Gentle and Lowly. There it was. I could not remember. So, Gentle and Lowly Co. And as simple as that, it will then say, do I want her to be able to see the analytics? That's fine with me. Okay. And then create link. Now it creates this link. Now, I've been struggling with this. I keep messing this up. So let me just tell you guys real quick. Be careful that you don't send this link before you do this next step, because if you don't follow this next step, your collaborator is not going to be able to accept. So what you have to do next, before you go any further, is you have to tap share, right? Go ahead and close that and copy that link. You want to copy that link, right? Now, you do not actually activate this until you save. Okay, so I'm just going to copy one more time to make sure I got the right link. And now I tap save. Once you have tapped save, now the link is active and your collaborator will get a notice that you have requested a collaboration. Of course, I can take that very same link, go to Addie and go to her email and simply send it to her, or however else I want to send it. But that's how you create a collaboration, okay? So once again, what I'm trying to make sure that you understand is collaborations is not just a way for you to, suddenly bump up a bunch of views on your YouTube videos, because it's possible that in this case, I'm not expecting huge numbers, but it is a perfect way to let people share the content that you've already shared on both of your pages. And if there is a synergy and an alignment between your two platforms, it makes no sense not to share it, not to collaborate. And, I'm going to look at how this works in terms of thumbnails, whether things look weird, but I don't think that's going to be an issue, honestly. We've already shared with a couple of other channels, and nobody has said, oh my gosh, your thumbnail's a little different. Can you change your thumbnail? Like, nobody has said that. So I hope that this will be one of the new ways that people collaborate in their creator communities. This would be a great way for you to build your channel, to connect with us. If you have already done a podcast with us and you've never collaborated it before, let me know. I would love to share your content with our YouTube audience. So hopefully that made a lot of sense. The lab work is super cool. It is happening right now. I think it's been rolled out in the US and maybe other places. So check your YouTube studios and see if you have access to that. And please, if you're not watching on YouTube right now, you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube, because that's how we help more creators like you. All right, we got one more segment to go before we get to our final segment. So let's go ahead and get ready for our consult. Okay, now this one hits home for a lot of us because, man, time is the thing that we seem to never have enough of. I am literally here right now doing this live stream, and I know that when I get off of this stream, I have got so many projects that are awaiting me that have nothing to do with my podcast, have nothing to do with my music. It's just life. It's bills. It's laundry, it's taxes, it's everything else except the thing that I love to do. And when you are struggling to constantly and consistently find time to create, it can feel like that is almost like a death sentence for your creative career. Because how can you actually produce the work that you're supposed to produce when your 9 to 5 or your work or your family, everything seems to take away all the time? So I wanted to be very, very honest with you. First, say there is no one size fits all answer to this. Okay. So by the way, those of you who are joining us newly, jumping in, thanks so much for joining us. We are the Creators Checkup. This is the God and Gig Show. This is where we help you to solve your temporary creative problems with timeless spiritual principles. And we're getting ready to talk about our consult, which is where we solve an individual issue that has been brought up in our community. So as we're talking about consistently finding time to create, first question for everybody is, when you feel that you're not doing enough creating or not finding enough time, what's your first response? What do you do first? Do you throw up your hands? Do you say, I got to wake up at 3 a.m? Do you say, I have to quit this job? I'm not going to be able to find anything unless I quit this job and do something different, right? There's so many responses to, I don't have time. But I would like you to flip that thought process. Flip it from, I don't have time, because that's the mindset of a scarcity mindset, which is saying, I do not have enough time in the day. But I know you've heard the cliche, and it's not cliche, it's the truth, that you have the same 24 hours that everybody has. So nobody has more or less time, even if we have a crazy busy schedule. The time is not the issue. It's how we see our time and what we decide to allocate our time to. And so instead of saying, I don't have enough time, it's better to say it like this: I have not yet allocated time to. Because you can allocate time to whatever you want. And this is not a matter of amount, it's a matter of strategy. And so you can decide how much time to allocate. Even if it's a minute, it's still from a storehouse that you actually have control over. Okay? So it's the same thing with money, honestly. Everyone says, I don't have enough money. And the truth is, that's not the case. The truth is, you have allocated your resources to certain things, which means there's less allocation for everything else. But it doesn't mean that your storehouse, your ability to create money or wealth is limited. It's not. It's just the way you're allocating it and the way that you are earning it, which can be changed It's in your power. So simply saying I just don't have enough time is the wrong way to look at it. So here's what I would love for you guys to think about. Instead of saying I don't have enough time, can you say, in what way can I find a new rhythm for my day that allows me to finish the responsibilities that I have and to have time to create consistently? There is a solution, and there is a way that the rhythm of your day or your week maybe can sustain consistent creative work. Now, we do have a DIY program for this. When I call this the DIY, it's because we have a consistent creator challenge that we haven't done in a while. I think I want to pull it out, but because we don't do it all the time, we have a consistent creator challenge DIY kit that is available. I honestly don't even know what the link is to that. I got to check and see if we have a link to that. But if somebody wants that, just put DIY in the chat. That way I'll know to actually put that link out, because maybe you don't even need it. But we do have a DIY consistent creator challenge helper so that you can use the strategies I'm about to talk about to help you to build a more consistent creative lifestyle and schedule. Okay, so while I'm looking at that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of the things that we talk about inside that particular challenge. And one of them is elevating your environment. Now you might say, wait, what does my environment have to do with anything? Honestly, you probably have a place or a space that you like to create, but it might be gathering dust. Maybe it's your piano, maybe it's your nook of your artist studio, wherever that is. If it has been gathering dust, trust me, you're not going to want to go there. You're not going to want to create consistently if you are not even using the space and making it attractive to you. So the first thing you might want to do is say, hey, I'm not going to spend any time creating. I'm going to spend time elevating the environment that I create in. I'm going to make it more appealing so that I want to be there. So that's one way that you can think of, hey, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to spend time on just cleaning up. Spend time on just getting my files organized, or my ideas organized, or my books organized, or my music sheets organized. That's still moving you toward more consistent creativity, not necessarily doing the thing. It's preparing the way for the thing. So these are just one of the ways you can think of, how can I be more consistently creative with the rhythm of my life right now? It's by thinking in these terms. So I did find that product. I think it's a super long URL. But once again, if you want that, I will go ahead and share it. If you just post or just put in the comments DIY. Okay, DIY would tell me, yeah, this is super long. I don't think I have I'll go ahead and put it in the comments just in case. Oh, great. I saw you right there. As soon as I said maybe I should post a link, I'm going to go ahead and post this link right now, okay? Thank you so much for suggesting that, because I was like, oh, I don't know if the link's going to work, but I'm going to go ahead and post it. You can at least copy and paste this. It should show up. I don't know if I can make it show up in LinkedIn, though. You know what? I will make sure to put it in LinkedIn under your particular link, your particular comment. So make sure to come back. I'm going to make sure it's there because I just posted it, but it didn't go to LinkedIn. It went to Facebook and it went to YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure you get that. But thank you so much, because this is exactly why I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I have a link for this, but I want to make sure you get that. So I will make sure to send it to you either direct message on LinkedIn or just post it underneath your comment right here. So thank you for that. Anybody else? Same thing. Okay. I know the link is super long because I never made a URL for that. So go ahead and just comment again, DIY, and then I will go ahead and either DM you or put the comment underneath on whatever the app is. Same thing for TikTok, actually. I should say that, because even TikTok, I know you guys don't see links and stuff like that, but I can message you if you put DIY in the comments. Okay. All right, my friends, this has been a great, great, great call. So I'm almost ready to the end. We're almost there. Let me go ahead and get our last stinger. It's not my favorite stinger now because it's a different one. And I just like to play around with this a little bit. So let's get to our final segment, which is our prescription. And here we are. So, what is our prescription for today? Our creator checkup took us through fear, how to respond to the fear of failure, and what you really are afraid of. Then we talked about lab work, and we talked about the new collaborative feature on YouTube. And then we talked about time management. How do you actually find more time in your day for consistent creator work? So, my advice to you in terms of your prescription is join our Creator Resource Center. And why do I say that? It's because the Resource Center has all of the resources that we just talked about so that you can get over the fear, that you can learn how to collaborate, how to use YouTube, how to use Facebook, how to use your social media, how to find ways to create products, how to find ways to build an email list, how to find ways to get your website correctly formatted. All of that is in the Creator Resource Center. Plus, every month we do a Creator Expert Workshop, and that gives you access to it for free. Every month, you never pay a ticket to go to our Creator Expert Workshops. Thank you so much, Pastor Vince. Man, it is good to see you. I'm sorry I had to do a quick shout out on the TikToks. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for joining in. I honestly do TikTok at the last minute because I forget. And then when I realize that some of you guys are checking us out and hanging out with us, again, if you want to see our screen, always jump over to the YouTube. But thank you for that, man. I love the fact that we can see even comments coming in on TikTok. So as I was saying, the 30 days free access to the Creator Resource Center. This is how you do it, okay? Because I did not make this, again, public to everyone. What you got to do is first you go to godandgigs.com/app. Let's change this up so you guys can see everything. So godandgigs.com/app, okay? When you go there, you got to remember this. You're going to want to put in 30-day guest. 30-day guest, okay? 30-day, let's put this in, 30-day guest. This is not for everybody. This is for y'all, okay? 30-day guest will be the promo code, okay? If you put the 30-day guest in, it will give you the first month for free, okay? The first month entirely complimentary to the Creator Resource Center, all right? And this is, like, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this. It's definitely for the month of October for now. I don't know if I'm going to keep it in November, December. Like, this is one of those, like, but we'll see how this works. We'll see whether you guys actually enjoy this and enjoy this free month. Okay, so once again, godandgigs.com/app, and then the promo code 30-day guest. All right, it has to be all one word. It's in the promo code. It pops up right there. This is kind of what it will do, just to give you like a little heads up. You do need to create an account, give it to email, and then once you create the email, it will give you access to go ahead and make your purchase and put in the promo code. So don't look for the promo code right when you join. You'll get like, oh wait, where's the promo code? First, create the account. Select your monthly plan, or you want to do yearly plan. I'm not going to say anything about the yearly plan. There might be like an incredible discount there, but I'm not going to tell you about that because I'm still nervous about that. Some of y'all might get a year for free. I don't even know. We'll see. But point is, you would go in there and go ahead, put in your promo code, and then you will get access to our Creator Resource Center. Okay. And you know what? Since we're here and y'all are hanging out, I saw that Dre Marshall was hanging out with us, man. We gave you a shout out already. Let's do a quick look at the actual Creator Resource Center so y'all can see what I'm talking about here. Let's get rid of that, add that. So this is what you would be getting access to, because I don't want you guys to think I'm just like making up stuff and trying to like take your money. Like, that's not what this is about. This is about joining the entire creator community and then getting access to all of our training vault, which includes all of these videos, including Dre Marshall. Look who's being profiled right here. Yes, Dre Marshall is here. You got to get your picture on this though, man. I remember I made this thing. I didn't have a picture of you. And then Call of the Creator, Prayer in the Creative Process, how to fix your content creation struggles with smart AI solutions, how to build relationships that amplify trust and authority with Misty Phillip, our email growth engine workshop, which we did with Kit, how to find your next 100 customers, how to increase engagement and views on YouTube, Value for Value, which is a hugely cool project that most people have never heard of, that we did a seminar on, cashing in as a creator. Like it goes on and on and on and on. Like, I mean, this is like the, Dre, when we had your book plus the Creator Resource Center, like people would literally be like PhDs in creator lifestyle. Plus tutorials that we put out. I'm actually thinking about doing another tutorial very soon on email basics, on YouTube, on setting up automation, your guides and templates, your prayer and Bible study guides, marketing and business and entrepreneur guides. Like all of this is available to you again. On top of that, joining our creator community. So all of that, and the first 30 days are free. So I would suggest you go ahead and jump in because again, I don't know how much longer we're going to have this particular program open. Oh, look at that. TikTok is telling me they're about to sign off. So I guess we got to get ready to go. I don't know why TikTok does this whole thing. I'm literally trying to answer a puzzle. Like, why? Okay, fine. I guess you're just trying to make sure that I am who I say I am. All right. But that is our creator checkup for today. If you're watching on replay, thank you for joining. Thank you for jumping in. Dre, again, thank you so much for joining in. I don't think I get to see who's watching on LinkedIn, but that's our second LinkedIn viewer. This is dope. Like, I'm actually kind of shocked that like our LinkedIn is really becoming a place for live video. Like, who knew? We got to talk about this. And the fact that, maybe some of us are not utilizing LinkedIn video like we should. This is interesting. This is really interesting because both of our comments today came from LinkedIn. All right. So now we know. Now we know that LinkedIn should be getting more love from us. All right. So we're going to make sure to do that. All right, my friends. Well, I thank you so much for being a part of this live stream. And if you're watching again on replay, just put replay in the comments. It helps me know that this is actually effective for you, that you are jumping in on the replay, that, and to be straight up with you, it helps the algorithm. This is not designed to be 1,000 and 1,000,000 plays. It's really designed for the initial connection, the live responses and the conversation we're having. So I don't really get all caught up in the views of this particular thing. But if this blessed you or you want to share it with someone, share it, watch it, and then put replay in the comments because every single comment builds the authority that these particular videos have. Same thing on TikTok. If you join us on TikTok, thank you for joining us. Please share. Go ahead and follow us on God and Gigs. And we're going to be sharing more stuff, more materials, more resources, and more encouragement and inspiration to help you become the creator that you were created to be. That is our time for today, guys. God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I really, really hope that you will join us both on our podcast, which comes out on every Monday, godandgigs.com/podcast. You can always listen to listen to our podcast and watch it. We have our newsletters that come out on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we have the Creator Checkup, which is the written version. And then you have our live streams on Friday. All right. God bless you guys. Until next time, continue to become the creator that you were created to be. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.